the end of the day, I feel completely alone. I just hope it was over. I'm LGBT and it's my basic human rights and my freedom. It's like if it ever ends, which I genuinely don't think it did, I don't think this ever got justice or real understanding or knowledge, it would be a piece of paper with my freedom written on it. I'm not a free man, no freedom at all. I'm attached to a weapon, something which affects my brain, my body, my mind, my spirit, even just my voice or whatever. No freedom at all. At will, whenever I'm alive and awake. At will, it's a weapon and it can affect me whenever I'm conscious, my conscious state, my perceptions, my sight, whenever I'm alive and awake. And there's nothing you can do. It depresses me and it's traumatized me enough, and the damage was done the worst damage was done a long time ago. It really was. It ruined my life. It left me with injuries to my body and my soul. Something impossible to people, invisible as well. Something strange and scary, the liberation of my brain. It would be the liberation of my brain, of which there is no privacy or boundary, and there was very, intense trauma there. It's real liberation and real freedom and real, identity card. It's like an identity card, brain here, brain there, whatever. And for me, liberation means death. The damage was already done a while ago in a cruel and violent way, and it still carried on. This happened again and again. The way I repressed myself, I got rid of myself, I turned inward on myself, and I hated myself. I was scared of them. It damaged my mind, it damaged the way I was happy, the way I see myself, the way I function. They feed these words, these information, these sentences into me every day. I don't want that, leave me alone. I never got a choice to agree or consent or say no. It's so long as you're awake. And you're not even allowed to die. I believe genuinely that my justice is that I have the right to euthanasia. If I ever received justice, it was euthanasia, definitely. It's inhumane, it was euthanasia, it's my brain. It was too traumatic, a part of me was dead a while ago. That is the practice of intentionally ending life to relieve pain and suffering. When I was traumatised that much by these people and they had that level of power over me, I think that's the only way I'm ever going to really feel any sort of justice, is the option to consider that, and you do it. Do you know what I mean? Assisted suicide, voluntary assisted suicide, it is my human right. It's it is my identity, my personhood, myself. Let me go to, if it ever ends, they should let me go to another country, voluntary euthanasia. That is my right when they have control of my body and my mind. It's my right, my human right, also, separately, to know how, when they did this and why, how they developed the weapon, when they first used it, what it felt like to use it, what it looks like to use it and how it works, what they thought of it, where they were, what times they were, what information they got from me, everything, because it is to do with me. It's my person. It is on my person. It's a weapon on my person. Just because somebody else can't see it, what, because it's all in your head or whatever, it is my fucking head. It's my fucking brain. It's my right to know how and when they did this, how they developed it, when they first used it, what it looks like. It's my state, my basic conscious state and identity from here to there. There are no boundaries at all. It's the most intimate and private experiences that you have, the really intimate ones, and there was no privacy there. And it traumatized me. There was an occasion where I dissociated. I had a billion different panic attacks or whatever. The damage was done, it really was. I changed as a person. I became very bitter and angry and sad. It was one of the most horrific and unjust things you can ever witness or know. How many people were there at what times, who was there when. I'm an already traumatised, vulnerable young person. Desperately, I've recorded again and again. I've written down again and again for nobody. I never, sent it anywhere or put it anywhere. Again and again over the weeks, I've recorded me talking about this in different ways. Sort of the same idea over the months, over weeks. Again and again, desperately. Now you imagine that. You imagine me doing that for months, and I either delete it or I just don't do anything with it or whatever, or, whatever, and this is what I've ended up, showing online or whatever. or I spoke out loud, or I wrote it down, or I screamed it at the people. And with the weapon, they can hear me from a distance. It's from a very great distance. I seem to be alone in a room right now, but people know I'm recording it. People are aware of it. I recorded me talking about it. But you imagine me doing that desperately for months and trying to, because I think I'm just trying to talk to people and I'm just talking to whatever, like, you imagine that and thinking, the whole time I'm thinking, please let me go. Like, it is like, they're calling it some sort of like, a security issue. It's my spirit or whatever, and it's invisible. It's easy to get away with. Most people think it's impossible, or it's rare, or not normal, or unlikely, or whatever. For months, everyone turned a blind eye. The people who are supposed to protect are me, especially vulnerable people in society who are supposed to protect me, who are supposed to go after the people who do these things. Turned a blind eye. Was completely incompetent. Doesn't believe in it, or doesn't do enough, or care enough. You should be able to look me in the eye and say, fuck, that is the most horrific and evil thing and most disgusting thing I've maybe ever heard, and you deserve justice, and you deserve the euthanasia, yeah. Like, that is crazy, like, the amount of moments and hours and weeks or whatever to be at peace, because it was that bad. Hundreds of hours without any sort of agreement or consent. Even the people or whatever, the expensive people, there were expensive people, like popular things, like there was a TV show really tagged in my mental experience to this, dozens of incidences, where they were at what times. It isolated me, it left me friendless, what was going on around them, what they believed when they used the weapon, what were they thinking when they used the weapon. It's my brain, it's like my creativity, they can see my decision making, my thought processes, how I do things or whatever, my ideas, my thoughts, in my movement and my imagination. My imagination is not private. And I mean like the sort of thing you think, oh, that's me having my private experience or whatever. No, and it's really traumatic and evil. And I do deserve for that to stop. It made me stop loving myself. A part of me died. They took away any hope I had. Earlier in the year, I was a very hopeful person. I became very bitter, lost and hopeless.